My father handed my cousin an $80,000 check at her graduation party while I stood there with my own diploma. And all he said to me was, "Work harder." 3 months later, he opened his mailbox to find a $60,000 lawsuit with my name on it. And what happened next? Nobody in my family saw it coming. Let me tell you how the golden child of the family ended up destroying everything my father built. And why he absolutely deserved it. My name is Jessica. And I need you to understand something right from the start. This isn't just about money. This has never been just about money. This is about years of being invisible, being dismissed, being treated like I was less than. Simply because I wasn't born to the right sibling. I grew up in what looked like a normal family from the outside. My dad, Robert, owned a successful construction company. We lived in a nice house in the suburbs, I went to decent schools, and we took vacations every summer. Picture perfect, right? Wrong. See, my dad has a younger brother, Uncle Tom, and Uncle Tom has a daughter named Melissa. She's 6 months younger than me, and from the moment she was born, she became the center of my father's universe. Yeah, you heard that right. My own father was more obsessed with his niece than his own daughter. It started small when we were kids. We'd have family dinners, and Dad would ask Melissa about her day, her friends, her interests. He'd laugh at her jokes, ruffle her hair, call her sweetheart. With me, it was, "How were your grades?" Or, "Did you finish your chores?" No warmth, no interest, just transactions. I remember being 8 years old, so clearly it still hurts. It was Christmas morning. Melissa opened this huge box, a brand new bike, pink with streamers and a basket, the whole deal. She squealed with excitement, and my dad beamed at her like she'd just won the Nobel Prize. I opened my gift. It was a book about math. A textbook. For Christmas, I looked up at him, trying not to cry, and he said, "Education is the best gift, Jessica. You'll thank me later." Melissa got to thank him right then for the bike. As we got older, it got worse. When Melissa made the JV volleyball team in 9th grade, my dad threw her a celebration dinner at the nicest restaurant in town. When I made first chair violin in the orchestra that same year, something I'd worked toward for 3 years, he said, "That's nice," and went back to reading his newspaper. Melissa got a car for her 16th birthday. A actual car. A used Honda, but still. I got a bus pass and a lecture about responsibility. My mom, God rest her soul, she saw what was happening. She'd try to balance it out, give me extra attention, stand up for me. But she passed away from cancer when I was 17. Junior year of high school. And after that, there was no buffer anymore. No one to tell Dad he was being unfair. It was just me alone, watching my father pour all his love and resources into someone else's kid. Here's where it gets really messed up. Uncle Tom was never financially stable. He made bad business decisions, had debt, moved from job to job. So Dad decided he needed to help family, which apparently meant helping Melissa, not actually fixing Uncle Tom's problems. When it came time for college, I had this moment of hope. I'd worked my butt off all through high school. I had a 3.9 GPA, I was in 3 clubs, I volunteered, I did everything right. I got accepted to a great engineering program at a state university. I sat down with my dad to talk about finances. We weren't poor, remember. His construction company was doing well. Really well. "Dad, I got accepted. I want to study civil engineering." "The tuition is, you'll need to take out loans," he interrupted. "And work part-time." "I'm not funding a free ride, Jessica. You need to learn the value of hard work." I stared at him. "But I have worked hard. I've maintained a 3.9 GPA while working at the grocery store on weekends." Melissa got into college too," he said, smiling. "She's going to study business." "I think that's wonderful." My stomach dropped. Are you paying for her college?" "Tom can't afford it. Someone has to help her. She's family." "I'm family. I'm your daughter." He looked at me with this cold expression I'll never forget. "And you're capable of figuring it out yourself. Melissa needs more support. You're strong, Jessica. Work harder. Work harder." Like I hadn't been working my entire life for a fraction of the attention he gave her for free. So I did it alone. I took out loans, I worked 2 part-time jobs, I barely slept. I ate ramen for dinner most nights because that's all I could afford. Meanwhile, Melissa posted Instagram photos from her fully funded college experience. Going to parties, joining a sorority, taking spring break trips that my dad paid for, and I said nothing. I swallowed the bitterness, focused on my degree, and told myself it would be worth it. 4 years later, we both graduated the same month, May 2023, and this is where the story really begins. My graduation was on a Saturday. Small ceremony, I walked across the stage, got my degree in civil engineering, and felt proud despite everything. I'd done it. Alone, but I'd done it. My dad showed up late, sat in the back, left immediately after. No dinner, no celebration, just congratulations, and he was gone. Melissa's graduation was the following Saturday. Business degree. And my dad organized this huge graduation party at his house. Catered food, decorations, like 50 people invited. Extended family, friends, neighbors, everyone. I almost didn't go. But something made me. Maybe I wanted to witness it. Maybe I was a glutton for punishment. The party was everything mine wasn't. Dad gave a speech about how proud he was of Melissa, how she represented the best of their family, how excited he was for her future. People clapped. Uncle Tom cried. Melissa glowed. Then Dad did something that broke me and ignited something else at the same time. He pulled out an envelope. Held it up for everyone to see. Melissa, sweetheart, I want to give you something to start your adult life right. You've worked so hard and you deserve this. He handed her the envelope. She opened it and her hands started shaking. Uncle Robert, this is an $80,000 check. The room erupted. People gasped, congratulated her, hugged her. $80,000. To start her life, I felt like I was going to throw up. Dad hugged her, kissed her forehead. You're going to do amazing things, sweetheart. I believe in you. Someone, I don't even remember who, said, what about Jessica? She graduated too, right? The room got quiet. Everyone looked at me. Then at my dad. He barely glanced my way. Jessica is very capable. She'd be fine. She just needs to work harder. Work harder. There it was again. In front of 50 people, he dismissed me with the same phrase he'd been using my entire life. I left the party. Didn't say goodbye, just walked out. I sat in my car and cried for 20 minutes. Then I stopped crying and I started thinking. See, here's the thing nobody knew. While I was working those 2 part-time jobs in college, one of them was at a law office. Just clerical stuff at first, but I got close to one of the attorneys, a woman named Patricia. She mentored me, taught me things, and I learned a lot about law. Specifically, I learned about contracts, agreements, and something very interesting about family loans. When I was 18, right after Mom died, Dad was dealing with her estate. There was some life insurance money, maybe $70,000. I remember him sitting me down, saying he was going to manage it for me until I was more mature. He had me sign some papers. I was grieving. I wasn't thinking clearly. I just signed whatever he put in front of me. He said it would be invested for my future. He said I'd get it when I was 25 or when I got married, whichever came first. He said it was to protect me from making bad decisions. I forgot about it, honestly. I was drowning in college expenses, working constantly, and that money felt like a distant fantasy. But sitting in my car outside that graduation party, it clicked. That was my money. My inheritance from my mom. And I'd never seen a penny of it. I'd never seen statements, updates, nothing. For 7 years, my dad had controlled money that was legally mine. While I struggled and took on debt, while he handed $80,000 to my cousin. The next Monday, I went to see Patricia. I need your help, I told her. I think my father stole from me. We spent 2 weeks digging. Patricia was amazing. She found the paperwork from when I was 18, the documents I'd signed. And here's what we discovered. The documents stated that my father would manage the life insurance money as a trustee until I was 25, at which point it would be released to me with any investment gains. But there was a clause, a very specific clause that Dad had added. It said he could use the funds for the beneficiary's education and welfare if needed. On the surface, that sounds reasonable. But here's the kicker. He'd never used it for my education. Not a dime. I had loan statements proving I paid for everything myself. So where was the money? Patricia filed a legal request for a full accounting of the trust. Dad had 30 days to provide documentation showing where every penny of that money had gone. He didn't respond. His lawyer did. They tried to delay, claimed they needed more time, but Patricia pushed back hard. Finally, they produced the records, and what we found. Oh, what we found was beautiful in the most infuriating way possible. Over 7 years, my dad had borrowed from my trust fund $63,000. For what? For Melissa's college tuition, for her car, for her expenses. He'd been funding her entire life with my mother's life insurance money. Money that was legally mine. Asterisk the remaining $7,000? He'd kept in a basic savings account earning almost no interest. Asterisk Patricia looked at me and said, "Jessica, this is theft. This is breach of fiduciary duty. We can destroy him with this." Asterisk, but what happened next shocked everyone, including me. I didn't just want the money back. I wanted justice. Real justice. Asterisk, we filed a lawsuit. Breach of fiduciary duty, misappropriation of funds, and emotional distress. We sued for the full $63,000 he'd stolen, plus 7 years of lost. Investment gains calculated conservatively at another $15,000, plus the legal fees, which brought the total to roughly $95,000. Asterisk, but we were willing to settle for $60,000 in restitution plus the $7,000 remaining. With a public admission of wrongdoing. Asterisk, the lawsuit letter arrived at his house on a Tuesday morning. I know because I was sitting across the street in my car, watching. I wanted to see his face when he opened it. Asterisk, he came out to get the mail in his bathrobe, casual, probably thinking about his day. He shuffled through the envelopes, then stopped. I saw his body language change. He ripped it open right there on the driveway. Asterisk, I watched his face go from confused to pale to red. He looked around like someone was watching him. I ducked down, but I saw enough. He was furious. And scared. Asterisk, within 2 hours, I got 7 missed calls from him. Then Uncle Tom called. Then Melissa. Then relatives I hadn't heard from in years. Everyone was suddenly very interested in talking to me. Asterisk, I didn't answer any of them. I let Patricia handle all communication. Asterisk, Dad's lawyer called Patricia. They wanted to settle immediately, quietly. They offered to return the $7,000 and pay $20,000 more. Asterisk Patricia. My client is seeking $60,000 in restitution plus the remaining $7,000, along with a written admission of wrongdoing. Asterisk his lawyer. That's excessive, Mr. Robert was managing the funds in good faith for family needs. Asterisk Patricia. He stole from his daughter to fund his niece's lifestyle while his daughter took on debt. We have documentation of everything. If this goes to court, it won't just be about the money. It'll be about a father who violated his legal and moral obligations. How do you think a jury will see that? There was silence on the other end. They came back with $40,000. We said no. They came back with $50,000. We said no. Patricia was a shark, and she knew we had them cornered. Asterisk, meanwhile, the family was imploding. Uncle Tom called me directly, left a voicemail. Jessica, please, you're tearing the family apart. Your dad made mistakes, but we can work this out. Melissa is devastated. She didn't know where the money came from. Please drop this. Asterisk, Melissa sent me a long text. I'm so sorry, Jessica. I had no idea. Uncle Robert told me he was just helping because my dad couldn't. I never wanted to take anything from you. Please believe me. Asterisk, and you know what? I actually did believe her. She was innocent in this. But that didn't change what happened. That didn't give me back 7 years of struggle. Asterisk, my dad finally called from a different number and I answered. Asterisk, Jessica, please, we need to talk about this like adults. Asterisk, adults? You mean like when you took my inheritance to fund someone else's life while I ate ramen and worked myself to exhaustion? That kind of adult conversation? Asterisk, I was trying to help family. Tom was struggling, and Melissa, asterisk, I was family. I am family. I'm your daughter, and you treated me like I was nothing. Work harder, you said. Well, you literally stole from me to give to her. Asterisk, I was going to pay you back. I was building the money back up. Asterisk 7 years, Dad? 7 years you had that money. If you were building it back up, you were doing a terrible job. You know what you were actually doing? You were hoping I'd never ask about it. You were hoping I'd just forget. He was silent. The settlement offer is $60,000 plus the $7,000 remaining. Take it or see you in court, where everyone, and I mean everyone, will know exactly what you did. He hung up. 2 days later, his lawyer accepted the settlement. $67,000 paid within 30 days, along with a written statement, acknowledging that he had mismanaged the trust fund and used funds without proper authorization. Asterisk, the money hit my account 4 weeks later. Every penny. Asterisk, but here's where the revenge gets even sweeter. Remember how I said Dad owns a construction company? Well, news travels fast in business communities, especially when it involves legal settlements and breach of fiduciary duty. Asterisk, some of his business partners got wind of the lawsuit. They started asking questions. If he'd mismanaged his own daughter's trust fund, how was he managing company finances? How are contracts being handled? Asterisk, 3 of his major clients pulled their projects. His reputation took a massive hit. The company didn't collapse, but it took serious damage. He had to lay off employees. Had to scale back. Asterisk, and the family? The family completely fractured. Some relatives sided with me, saying what he did was unforgivable. Others said I was vindictive, that I should have handled it privately. Uncle Tom stopped speaking to my dad entirely, feeling guilty that his daughter had benefited from stolen money. Melissa and I actually really talked, and she apologized genuinely. We're working on rebuilding something, but it's complicated. Asterisk, my dad? He sent me one email after the settlement cleared. Just 3 sentences. I hope you're happy. You've destroyed your family over money. Your mother would be ashamed. Asterisk, I replied. With 1 sentence, Mom will be ashamed that you stole her life insurance money from her daughter. Don't contact me again. And he hasn't. I used the settlement money to pay off my student loans. All of them. Every single penny of debt gone. The rest I invested, properly this time, in my own accounts that no one else can touch. Asterisk, I got a great job as a civil engineer at a firm that values me. I'm designing bridges, infrastructure projects, making good money, and building the life I always deserved. Asterisk, and my dad? He lost his golden child when Uncle Tom cut him off. He lost his reputation when the lawsuit became local knowledge. He lost his daughter when he chose favoritism over fairness. Asterisk, sometimes I think about whether I went too far. Whether I should have just taken a smaller settlement and moved on. But then I remember sitting at that graduation party, watching him hand Melissa $80,000 while telling me to work harder. I remember every dismissive comment every time he chose her over me. Every year I struggled while he funded her comfort with my money. Asterisk, no. I didn't go too far. I went exactly as far as justice required. Asterisk, this story isn't about revenge for revenge's sake. It's about standing up for yourself when everyone expects you to stay quiet. It's about refusing to be treated as less than even by your own family. It's about fighting for what's rightfully yours when someone takes it and hopes you won't notice. Asterisk, my father thought I was weak, thought I would just accept whatever he decided I deserved, but he underestimated me. He always underestimated me, and that was his biggest mistake. So here's what I want you to take from this. If someone is treating you unfairly, if someone is taking advantage of you, especially family, you have the right to stand up for yourself. You have the right to demand what's yours. And if that makes you the villain in their story, good, be the villain. Because in your own story, you're the hero who refused to be a victim. Asterisk, don't let anyone make you feel guilty for protecting yourself, for demanding fairness, for fighting back when you've been wronged. Not even family. Especially not family, actually, because sometimes the people closest to us think they can get away with the most. Asterisk, if this story resonated with you, if you've ever been the unfavorite, the one expected to just deal with it, the one told to work harder while others were handed everything, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to this channel because I share stories of people who fought back, who stood up, who refused to be pushed around. Asterisk, and drop a comment. Tell me, have you ever had to stand up to family? Have you ever been treated unfairly by the people who should have protected you? Or maybe you have your own revenge story. I want to hear it. This community is about supporting each other, reminding each other that we deserve respect and fairness. Asterisk, remember, the best revenge isn't just getting even. It's reclaiming what's yours, rebuilding your life, and succeeding so completely that they can't deny your worth anymore. Asterisk, I got my money, my freedom, and my self-respect. And that's worth more than any relationship with someone who never valued me in the first place. Asterisk, now go out there and fight for what you deserve. You're stronger than they think. I promise you that.